Welcome to r/BestofRedditorUpdates subreddit, where the original poster is worried about her husband being friends with his ex-wife. My husband and I had been married for 8 years, together for 14, and we have a 4-year-old daughter who is our whole life. He had been married before to Eliza, his best friend. They married at 18, lasted 2 years, and divorced. They remained best friends, and when we started dating, Eliza, my husband's other best friend Jack, and my husband were a tight-knit group. Eliza was one of the bros, while I was always the girlfriend, and later the wife, always an outsider. His 2 friends are single, so our house was always a place for them to crash. Even since we moved in together, they would show up unannounced and do their own thing while I made snacks and full meals. For the first year, I tried my best to integrate into their clique, but it never worked out. It was always awkward, and I felt I was inserting myself where I didn't belong, so I stopped trying and relegated myself to being a great host while letting them do their thing. I didn't notice at first, but over the years, resentment built up. I felt like a 1950s housewife serving drinks and lighting cigarettes for men. My husband on his own is amazing, and I love him. He has been a great partner and my best friend during these 14 years. The problem is, I'm not his best friend, Eliza is. Every single thing that happens in our life has to be discussed and analyzed with Eliza. Early in our relationship, I got pregnant. I took the test early one night, and we were really scared. Despite this, he was reassuring, holding me the whole night and telling me he was ready to do whatever I wanted. I said I needed to really think about it. The next day, we went to our classes and agreed to meet for lunch. When we met, he asked how I was, and then told me he had the contact information for a doctor who performed abortions. This was illegal back then. I asked how he found one so fast when I wasn't even sure what I wanted to do. His answer, he called Eliza early in the morning, and she had a friend who knew someone. I felt so betrayed because this was something private between us, and he went and shared it with someone else. Not just someone else, it's Eliza, come on, he said, as if that made it better. During the next few days, every time I saw him, he had new information from Eliza and Eliza's friend. I was confused and scared, and Eliza convinced my boyfriend we needed to act fast because it would be easier. With so much pressure, I agreed. Long story short, it was a dangerous, unsanitary doctor's office, and I almost died there. To this day, I don't know if I should have kept the baby or not. But I try not to think about it. When my boyfriend proposed, Eliza was fake mad that he didn't tell her first. The only way to placate her was to have her as his best man, despite my husband having a male best friend. Every little or major event in our life turns into, yeah, I'm going to tell Eliza now. You know how she gets. I was sexually assaulted as a child and told this to my husband. He was the first person I ever talked to about it. Months later, Eliza and I were alone in our kitchen, and she started talking about something she heard in the news about a girl raped by a family member and then hugged me. He had told her my most private trauma. When I started trying for a child and got pregnant, I asked my husband to keep it between us for a little while. It was Wednesday when I found out. By Sunday, when I saw Eliza, she congratulated me. I ended up miscarrying. I started looking for a doctor to help with my depression, again, something I wanted to keep private. Eliza was suddenly so understanding about it. When I was pregnant with my daughter, Eliza came full of advice on things I should do. I told her to mind her own business, which really hurt her feelings. I stood my ground and told my husband I wasn't going to raise my child with Eliza and didn't want to hear any advice from her. This led to a big fight with my husband because I was rude, and Eliza was family and already considered herself an aunt. This was the only time I gave my husband an ultimatum. Eliza better keep herself away from my motherhood or I'll leave. Now resentment has reached a point where I don't want her near me, my house, or my husband. I feel she is more married to my husband than I am. My whole life feels like I'm living in a best friends to lovers drama, except I'm not the best friend. I'm not sure why I'm sharing this. Probably because I'm alone in a coffee shop, thinking I want my husband to be my husband and not feel like a lame love interest in someone else's epic love story. In the past, my husband thought I was being childish. Despite loving him, I can't keep being married like this. I don't feel I can trust him to talk to him again without him involving Eliza, but I don't want to hold ultimatums over him either. A few days ago, I took a pregnancy test and it was positive. Having a large family is what I always wanted, and ever since my abortion, I was left with a feeling of having empty arms. Holding my daughter was like feeling whole again, and now I needed to grow my arms even more to hold my new baby too. But after the initial happiness, an ugly feeling started to grow in my stomach. I didn't want Eliza in our lives anymore. It felt like taking off my innocent glasses and truly seeing her for the first time. Every smile was so fake, every compliment was mean-spirited or a self-compliment. Nice potato salad, it was great. Oh, remember, she'd say to my husband, that potato salad I made, it was unbelievable. Or nice outfit, I love how confident you are. I can't leave the house without making sure my outfit is flawless. I thought about her reaction to my first pregnancy, our wedding, travels, second pregnancy, buying a house. How everything that should be between my husband and me always included her, as if our life was a play she should write and direct. On our first Christmas together, she came when we were decorating, and with all her helpful criticisms, I ended up sitting in a corner drinking wine while she and my husband decorated our home. She is always here. And by here, I mean in my life. She has a say in everything, to the point that when my husband voices his opinion, I can tell which words are his and which are Eliza's. I'm not saying that everyone suddenly turned evil, but thinking about my life with my husband, I realize I've always been a passive character. It's like my husband got himself a pet, and he and Eliza are going to be endgame when they both realize they never stopped loving each other. My life isn't bad. My husband hasn't been a terrible husband, and Eliza isn't so bad if the bar is that she hasn't tried to kill me yet. I know this all seems clear to outsiders, but this has been my life for years, my day-to-day reality. I learned to look away and make myself small so I wouldn't make others uncomfortable, maybe because I'm pregnant and hormonal, but I'm tired of this. I love my husband, but I feel he can't love me fully with Eliza whispering in his ear and him running like a golden retriever to please her. After all that thinking, I sat my husband down and told him we needed to set strong boundaries because our marriage wasn't working, and I didn't feel loved or respected as a wife or even as a person. I explained what I've been feeling all these years. My husband denied everything and tried to explain that Eliza was like a sister to him. I said even siblings have boundaries. We went back and forth, with him making me doubt if I was trying to control his life and monitor his friendships. For a moment, I wondered if I was crazy, but I stood firm. If he wanted to keep this marriage, Eliza needed to be gone from our lives. At first, I thought limited contact might be good, but seeing his reaction, I knew that wouldn't be enough. Maybe I wouldn't see Eliza, but he certainly would, and I would be antagonized and mocked behind my back. Realizing this made me see that my marriage was over. So I asked important questions. What were his real feelings? Why did they divorce if they were so hung up on each other? Why not leave me sooner? Did he love Eliza more than me? What is it that I don't have and she does that makes it impossible to leave? His answer broke me. He loves her, but he loves me too. He doesn't understand how, but both of us bring something he doesn't want to miss. He's not sure if he wants a life with Eliza like the one we have, a marriage, a family, but she is his soulmate. They divorced because there was so much fire between them that they were burning each other. With me, he has calm, peace, and a loving place to come back to. He swore he'd never physically cheated, but admitted he sometimes fantasizes about her being me and me being her. They often talk about having this life, but agree that being together would break their bond. I know this might have been obvious to others from the beginning, but hearing my husband say he loves another woman who is his soulmate, a woman he put at the center of our life, made an aunt to our daughter, and treated us as family while I was the outsider, it broke me. I threw myself on the floor, hugged his legs, and asked what I needed to do for him to love me, to only love me. I felt so pathetic, but I believed everything was worth saving something as valuable as my marriage. I cried and cried and cried. The hardest part was hearing there was nothing I could do. This is where I am now. My life is falling apart, and the only things holding me up are two little hands that hug me every night, and the small bean in my belly. We haven't discussed anything legal yet. He left the house, and my sister and mum are staying with us for now. This story reveals how easily we can become supporting characters in our own lives when we allow others to take center stage. For 14 years, this woman slowly surrendered her voice, her boundaries, and her rightful place as her husband's primary partner. What began as accommodation, being the perfect hostess, the understanding wife, evolved into a pattern that erased her needs and desires from the relationship entirely. Sometimes love isn't enough when respect and loyalty are missing. A true partnership requires more than just affection. It demands placing each other first and creating boundaries that protect the sanctity of your relationship. When someone tells you they can love two people at once but keeps you in second place, they're really saying, "You're not enough." The most painful realization isn't just that her husband loved another woman, but that he built their entire marriage on dishonesty, using her for stability while maintaining an emotional affair that she was expected to accept and accommodate. In leaving this relationship, she isn't just walking away from a husband who couldn't commit fully. She's reclaiming her right to be the main character in her own life story. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more wild Reddit updates, and make sure to check out our playlist for even more jaw-dropping tales.